Imagine stepping outside, and instead of a tired patch of grass, you find a quiet Nordic corner waiting for you. A tiny moss mirror pond reflecting the evening sky. Driftwood twisted into a sculptural throne overflowing with flowers. A wall of simple jars, catching sunlight as water slides from glass to glass. Now imagine that every piece of this garden was once trash. An old tire, a broken tub, leftover pallets, bottle caps scattered on the ground. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how these forgotten objects turn into a calm Scandinavian-style backyard, even if your space is only 2 or 3 meters wide. Welcome back to Backyard Fortune, where we turn small spaces and forgotten materials into warm, lived-in gardens that feel like a storybook. If you love Nordic farmhouse style, rustic textures, and real DIY projects you can actually build from trash, you're in the right place. As you watch, tell me in the comments which idea you'd try first in your own backyard. And if this video gives you even one new idea, please support our small family project by subscribing and sharing this video with a friend on WhatsApp or Facebook who loves gardening. Everyone who watches and shares, I genuinely wish you a long, healthy life and a backyard that keeps getting more beautiful every year. One Nordic moss mirror pond from a broken tub. Imagine a quiet corner of your backyard where time slows down, a place where water meets sky in the gentlest way possible. The Nordic moss mirror pond begins with something humble, a cut metal drum, an old washing tub, or a discarded basin that once served a forgotten purpose. Yet here, it becomes a still pool of reflection, a tiny piece of northern calm tucked into a modest garden. Around its rounded edge, stones gather like old friends returned from the river. Soft moss settles into every gap, absorbing the light and releasing a cool, forest-like fragrance. The pond's surface stays perfectly still, capturing the blue of the afternoon sky, the sway of leaves, and the passing of soft shadows. Even the smallest backyard feels larger when the world is mirrored on water. Nearby, a single driftwood piece leans with natural elegance, hinting at stories carried by wind and time. Tiny blooms sit quietly, their colors softened by the surrounding greens. In this small reflective pool, the garden becomes contemplative, a sanctuary created from something broken. And as you move on, imagine how water and silence might shape the next corner of your tiny Nordic-inspired backyard. Two, Driftwood Garden Throne Planter. Imagine a piece of driftwood washed ashore after a long journey, shaped not by hands, but by wind, water, and time. Now imagine that same forgotten wood rising again in your garden, not as debris, but as a sculptural throne for living plants. The Driftwood Garden Throne Planter begins with twisted branches and curved roots that once seemed unusable. Yet together, they form a natural seat for blossoms to climb, spill, and bloom. Each branch tells a quiet story, softened edges from years of weathering, faint silvery tones that feel like Nordic winters, and knots that look like memories etched into wood. When arranged upright, the driftwood becomes an organic crown, surrounding a pocket of soil where trailing ivy, petunias, or tiny daisies can thrive. As the plants grow, they weave themselves into the wood's open structure, creating a blend of movement and stillness, of rough bark and delicate bloom. It feels ancient and elegant at the same time, a wild sculpture gifted by nature. Placed in a small corner of a backyard, this throne doesn't dominate. Instead, it invites the eye to pause, to appreciate the beauty of imperfection. And as you leave it behind, imagine how other discarded materials might rise again as gentle works of garden art. 3. Jar waterfall wall for a tiny balcony. Imagine a quiet balcony where sunlight gently filters through the railing and softens the air. Now picture a set of humble glass jars, once ordinary containers, rising along the wall in a graceful vertical rhythm. From the topmost jar, a thin ribbon of water begins its journey, slipping softly into the next, and then the next, each jar catching the light as if storing a piece of the sky. This jar waterfall wall brings motion to small spaces, the kind of motion that calms the mind without demanding attention. The glass glows when morning sun touches it, turning simple reflections into shimmering layers of silver and blue. Moss tucked between the wooden frame adds a whisper of forest life, while tiny ferns lean toward the cool mist that lingers around the jars. What once held pickles, spices, or forgotten pantry items now holds serenity, a cycle of movement and stillness that transforms even the narrowest balcony into a miniature sanctuary. You don't need a large yard for water to shape your space. You only need a few jars, a touch of patience, and the willingness to listen to the soft rhythm of falling water. And as we step away, imagine how light and sound might weave through the next element of your Nordic-inspired garden. Four. Bottle cap Scandinavian mosaic border. Imagine kneeling at the edge of your garden, brushing away a few leaves, and finding color where you least expect it. A mosaic born not from ceramic tiles, but from discarded bottle caps once forgotten in drawers, baskets, and old storage boxes. In the Scandinavian mosaic border, these tiny circles become pieces of quiet poetry, pressed into smooth mortar like small beads of memory. Laid one by one, each cap becomes a point of light. Blues echo the depth of northern lakes, reds warm the soil like late summer berries, and whites brighten the border like the first frost on wooden fences. Arranged in gentle patterns, simple lines, soft waves, or minimal Nordic geometry, these humble objects transform into a playful threshold between the cultivated and the wild. Beside the border, ground cover plants spill over in soft greens, their delicate shapes brushing against the colorful mosaic. The contrast feels intentional, as if the garden itself wanted a touch of cheerfulness among the rustic tones of wood and stone. What was once trash now outlines the garden with charm and clarity, reminding us that beauty often hides in the smallest of things. And as you look up, imagine how other simple materials might redefine the next corner of your space. Five. Weathered tire cottage portico planter. Imagine approaching the entrance of your home and being greeted not by stone or metal, but by something humble, a discarded tire, softened by time and sunlight. In the Nordic countryside, beauty often begins with the simplest objects, and here the weathered tire cottage portico planter rises as a gentle reminder of that truth. Painted in muted tones of sage, dusty blue, or pale gray, the tire loses its industrial past and becomes part of the landscape. Its texture, once sharp and utilitarian, now feels like something found beside an old farmhouse path, quiet, worn, familiar. Filled with rich soil, it cradles the upright spears of lupins or the soft cascades of petunias, their blooms leaning outward as if welcoming each passerby. Set near a doorway or along a small garden path, the planter feels rooted, as though it has always belonged to that place. Moss may gather at the base, and a few stones may settle into the soil around it, adding depth and grounding the scene in natural calm. What was once a remnant of motion now stands still, holding life rather than carrying it. And as you walk past it, imagine how other overlooked materials might become companions in the quiet beauty of your garden. Six, bed slat Nordic privacy screen corner. Imagine a quiet corner of your garden, a place where sunlight softens as it passes through slender lines of wood. The bed slat Nordic privacy screen rises from this space like a gentle boundary, not meant to hide the world, but to filter it. Made from reclaimed bed slats, each piece carries the faint marks of sleep, warmth, and time. Now, arranged vertically, they become a small architectural gesture that transforms an overlooked corner into a place of calm. The slats stand with simple dignity, their pale tones echoing the soft colors of Scandinavian cottages. Gaps between them let the breeze breathe through, and the shifting light paints silent patterns along the ground. Small pots hang lightly from the wood, holding trailing vines or herbs that lean into the openings, weaving greenery into the warm grain of the slats. Even in the smallest backyard, this screen creates a sanctuary, a place to sit, breathe, and let the day settle. It doesn't demand attention, it simply shapes the atmosphere, offering privacy without heaviness, structure without confinement. As you step away, imagine how other forgotten pieces of furniture might reveal their quiet beauty when given a second life outdoors. Seven, vintage washboard herb ladder. Imagine a narrow corner of your garden or balcony, a space so small it often goes unnoticed. Now picture a vintage washboard leaning there, its wooden frame softened by age, its metal surface still holding the faint echoes of past labor. With a few added shelves and small pots, this forgotten object rises again as the vintage washboard herb ladder. Herbs climb gently along its height, chives with slender green blades, thyme draping in delicate trails, rosemary growing in confident verticals. Their scents mingle in the air, subtle but reassuring, like the aroma that lingers in a cozy Nordic kitchen. Light touches the metal ribs of the washboard, creating soft reflections that shift with the day, giving the piece a quiet rhythm. The ladder stands not as a statement, but as a companion, humble, useful, and full of memory. Each herb pot becomes a reminder of calm mornings, of hands brushing leaves before cooking, of gardens that grow upward when space is scarce. Placed against a wall or nestled into a balcony nook, it transforms a simple strip of vertical space into a living tapestry of green. And as you move forward, imagine how other domestic relics might find new purpose among your plants. Eight, Rootbound fairy pond with edible herbs. Imagine a small corner of your garden where nature seems to gather quietly, as if protecting a secret. The root-bound fairy pond begins with twisted roots and weathered branches, pieces shaped slowly by earth and rain. Arranged around a shallow bowl of water, they form a natural cradle, a place where stillness and growth meet. The water reflects the soft glow of the sky, turning even the smallest space into a pocket of calm. Moss clings to the curves of the roots, glowing green after a morning mist. And just beside the water's edge, edible herbs take root, thyme curling gently over the rim, mint releasing cool fragrance, oregano spreading with quiet confidence. Their presence blurs the boundary between beauty and utility, inviting your hands to touch and your senses to rest. The pond feels ancient, as if discovered rather than built, yet it comes from simple scraps collected on a walk or found beside fallen trees. Its scale fits even the tiniest backyard, but its presence feels larger, a reminder that water and wood have always belonged together. And as you leave this gentle pond, imagine how the next upcycled creation might continue weaving nature, memory, and life into your garden. Nine. Distressed Nordic picket garden border. Imagine a pathway lined not by sharp edges or polished stone, but by small wooden pickets standing in gentle, uneven rhythm. Each piece carries the faint marks of weather and time, softened paint, chipped corners, pale tones that echo northern cottages touched by years of wind and quiet snowfall. The distressed Nordic picket garden border isn't meant to be perfect, it's meant to feel lived, storied, and kind. Arranged along the edge of a flower bed or vegetable patch, the pickets create a subtle frame, a boundary that guides the eye rather than restricts it. Behind them, tall blooms rise in soft purples and whites, nodding lightly in the breeze. Ground cover plants spill over the base, blurring the line between structure and wildness. The border becomes a conversation between order and nature, a balance the Nordic countryside knows well. The imperfections in the wood add charm, each picket carrying its own personality. A faded brushstroke here, a crack of old grain there. Yet together they form something warm, grounding, and unexpectedly elegant. And as you walk the path the border creates, imagine how even the simplest scrap wood can build a sense of place in your garden, one quiet picket at a time. Pallet wood Scandinavian shade trellis. Imagine a plain wall or carport side, empty, quiet, and waiting for purpose. Now picture rough pallet boards, once used to carry weight across long distances, standing tall in a new form. Arranged in simple vertical lines, softened by pale paint or natural grain, they become the pallet wood Scandinavian shade trellis, a structure that brings both shape and shelter to small garden spaces. Climbing vines rise gently along its surface, threading themselves between the narrow gaps. Grape leaves unfurl like small green hands. Jasmine leans in with delicate fragrance. Even strawberries can climb with encouragement, their tiny fruits catching bits of sunlight filtered through the boards. The trellis does more than support plants. It filters light, casting calm geometric shadows across the ground. Its presence feels honest, the kind of design born not from luxury, but from thoughtful reuse. The imperfections of the pallet planks add quiet character. A knot here, a faded stamp there, a subtle memory of their journey before becoming part of your garden. Placed against a fence, a garage wall, or even marking the boundary of a small patio, the trellis brings vertical life to spaces that once felt flat. And as you move onward, imagine how height and texture might change the rhythm of the next corner of your backyard. So, we've turned driftwood into sculpture, tires into cottage planters, and empty jars into a calming waterfall wall. Before you click away, look around your home for one forgotten object, a broken chair, an old crate, a stack of bottle caps, and imagine what it could become in your garden. If any of these ideas lit up your imagination, tap like, subscribe to Backyard Fortune, and share this video with someone who dreams of a cozy European-style backyard but thinks it's too expensive. Let me know in the comments, which corner of your yard should we transform next? The entryway, the patio, or the balcony? Until the next video, keep your hands in the soil, your heart in the garden, and may your days be peaceful, healthy, and full of small beautiful projects.